this podcast like a great big pussy just waiting to get fucked. Nope, I don't think I have it. Hey, we're doing Scarface this week, so you're going to hear a bunch of bad Cuban accents.
Are we playing clips from the movie in the podcast?
Maybe in the theme song that you wrote and performed, there are clips.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
That's cinema, baby.
Sonny Corleone was a Long Island tough, big eggplant energy, but it wasn't enough. Quato lived in a belly, but he got one in the brain. My feet exploded, Nessie driving RoboCop insane. Clyde had a gun for fighting, Bonnie wanted one for fun. They was only 24 and 25, and she got 26 shots when they died. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died.
Hello and welcome to Season 15 of The Good, the Pod, and the Ugly, a film podcast where we traditionally pair films from writers or directors. But this season we are covering a practical effect, the squib, most often used as a blood squib. We're doing a temporal pincer movement with squibs throughout film history. I'm your host, Ken.
I'm your co-host, Ryan.
I'm another co-host, Thomas. We're joined this week. Yep.
Yeah, we are.
Eric.
I'm supposed to introduce myself? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is like going up to the bar to order instead of a waiter coming. Okay.
Hey, we don't have Jack this week. I was really hoping for a full house of boomers over zoomers, but whatever.
Yeah. Erik Van Der Wolf from Blood and Popcorn.
Yay, Eric, It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
What was it, Tom Savini or Richard Price, I think, were the last couple?
I think it was Savini, because we talked about his Night of the Living Dead remake. So
yeah. Okay, yeah. And then Richard Price.
Yes.
Color of Money, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. It all comes together.
Sea of Love.
Yep.
Which has the Scarface connection, by the way.
Yes, it very much does.
Alfredo Pacino, is that the connection?
Mm-hmm. All right, so we are pairing Scarface from 1980, is it 83?
83.
With Elephant, which we are talking about next week, a very unusual pairing because we're doing the temporal pincer movement. Ryan, can you explain what that is to our listener?
Yes, the temporal pincer movement is when we approach a filmography, or in this case, a subject, starting at the end and the beginning simultaneously. So we watch a very early film in the series and then the last film in the series, and we work our way towards the center.
Brilliant.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
Man, that was the best. Out of 200 episodes, I think we finally got it.
I feel like you need to dub that one, because we should just pop it in, because I don't know if I'll ever do it as well again.
And typically we, for the previous seasons, we went the first and the latest. This time we flipped it on its head. We were doing the latest to the earliest. But this week, we're going to flip it again on you. Because we're not doing Gus Van Sant's 2003 Elephant first. We're going to start off with a little film called Scarface.
Yes. And that was mostly due to availability of people to talk, including Ryan.
Yes.
And Ken. I
was not frankly looking forward to rewatching Elephant, but after the brief text exchange we had about it last night, I really wish I was able to join, because I would love to take part in that discussion. So I'll be listening intently.
It should be a good one. And Erik's a screenwriter. You've heard him before. He knows a lot about horror films and thrillers and whatnot. Erik and I have known each other since we were in our 20s, so 15 years or so. I sent you a list of the movies that we were doing for Squib season, asked which one you wanted to be on. And I think you're the one that said we needed Scarface. I don't think Scarface was originally in this. So you brought this to us.
Yes. Yeah. The thing about, 80s in general, it's old practical effects. So there's no CGI. So you get a film like Scarface that has a lot of violence in it, and you're going to have a lot of squibs, in this thing. Same thing for like RoboCop, Verhoeven. So there's a ton of squib work in there as well. And I think, you look at some of these, mainstream films from that time period, and there was a lot of on-screen violence around this time. So lots to choose from, but I think, Scarface is just one of those quintessential 80s films that everybody saw on home video, because it actually didn't do well theatrically. People discovered it on home video, and I think it was definitely worth throwing in here.
Yeah, and the 80s, as we've discovered as we go through this, were really the time where big studios started putting big money into what were traditionally B movies. So even though there was a lot of violence in the 70s movies, it was kind of cheap. The blood often looked like ketchup. That the 80s were the greatest period for practical squibs. Also, R-rated movies were more popular back then than they are now as far as action movies go. So
the greatest
is
period
really
for R-rated movies too.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because you had that jump from PG to R, right?
yeah,
There was no PG-13 at this time.
and yeah, PG-13 as it went along over a couple decades kind of sucked the air out of the R-rated balloon, that so to speak.
Yes. Well, the boomers
The
also
R-rated
realized
blood
that,
balloon.
Yes. Do we want an explanation what a squib is?
Only if
Yeah.
Erik has one. Otherwise, we've been doing this a bunch.
If you don't know what a squib is by now.
Yeah, so a squib is basically a tiny explosive device that's glued to an actor beneath their costume that has a little balloon of blood. And this explosive device is detonated off your body, and blood spurts out. So actually, a lot of actors don't like using squibs. So because of this, and old school effect.
Yeah. And squibs also are used on like walls and last week with First Blood. I think our best squib was the tree. Maybe.
Yeah.
And this one, Scarface has a lot of non-blood squibs in the finale as well.
Yes.
Well, and I wish when we were crafting the playlist for this season that I had realized that bloody squibs were also in fact squibs, because The Matrix has that incredible ending where the walls are just exploding for 20 minutes. And I didn't realize those were all squibs before.
Yeah.
Well, no regrets, as the tattoo says.
Yeah.
Before we go off track, we got a lot of hosts this week. Scarface is 1983. We've also covered another R-rated movie called Risky Business.
Yeah.
From 1983. Sudden Impact. Woo. Silkwood. And The Keep.
Almost a perfect year. Some bangers in there.
So I take it from your lunchbox and other paraphernalia, Erik, the scar that you have tattooed on your face, Mr. Van Der Wolf. This is not your first watch.
Oh gosh, no! I had Scarface on the loop back in the 80s.
You know who else did? According to the commentary, Eli Roth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think he said that he watched it like 58 times in a year so that he could memorize it, so that people on the playground could ask him, maybe in 7th or 8th grade, like to recite any scene, and he could.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of the dialogue down, and while in the lunchroom, in high school, I would often go into Tony Montana's little speech when everything's falling apart and they're in the restaurant.
Oh, I'm the bad guy?
Yeah, I'm the bad guy speech. I would go into that. Is this it? Is this what it's all about? Say goodnight to the bad guy. Because you never see a bad guy looks this good again.
Wow, we're getting some cross-pollination between this and Elephant, aren't we?
I was thinking the same thing.
So, yeah, I would riff on a lot of that, a lot of the dialogue. So, some of it I could still do. Oh yeah, some of it I could still do. But
how many versions do you have of it on disc?
So actually, when I went to look for it, because I was going to watch it again, but I ran out of time. But I really don't have to. But I do not have the Blu-ray of it. So I have a bootleg that I bought that I did not know was a bootleg at the time, and then I have the deluxe edition that they came out with a few years ago. Because I was looking for my Blu-ray and I was like, wait, I don't have a Blu-ray of this sucker. How is that possible? But I think it's because I've been waiting for like the super duper, anniversary Blu-ray or something like that. But so I have two. I only have two.
Okay. Thomas, what is your experience with Scarface?
I've seen the opening once and the ending once. And this is my first time watching it the entire way through, courtesy of the Multnomah County
Whoa.
Library.
Shout out.
Gold edition DVD.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. Both DVD and Blu-ray. I got both of them in case one of them had a scratch on it, which occasionally happens when you're borrowing stuff from a public institute. And so, I actually have both gold editions DVD, which is 2 discs, or the 1 disc Blu-ray.
Very nice. What about you, Ryan?
This was, I believe, my 4th time seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it first in college when I was most into hip hop, and then a couple times since.
Okay. This was my 3rd time watching it. My DVD copy is the 35th anniversary that I got from the Vancouver Community Library.
Shout out.
Boo. And I think Erik and I have had, over our years of knowing each other, argued a bit about this movie because I found it detestable. So in my 3rd watch, I came to it from a different point of view. I actually watched De Palma's 2 films that he wrote and directed prior to this, Dressed to Kill and Blowout. Blowout being my favorite De Palma. So this was kind of like I grouped them all together via De Palma. So it wasn't just isolated Scarface. And you have to wait and see what I thought. We're not at reactions.
Not to reactions. Nope. Gavel sound effect.
For this pod, I rewatched the original movie, which I hadn't seen also since college. So I can talk a little bit about that if you guys would like to know more about 1932's Scarface.
Is that the Howard Hawks, Ben Hecht version that they dedicate?
Yes. Howard Hawks and Ben Hecht. And importantly, left out of the dedication, it was a Howard Hughes production. And this was when Hughes realized that pushing the censors as far as he could was the key to box office bonanza. So there had already been Public Enemy and White Heat had already blown up the box office in 31. And the studio was very reluctant to greenlight another gangster film. So Hughes ended up bankrolling it all by himself. And it's based largely off of the life of Al Capone. It's about half as long as De Palma's version. The story beats are largely the same, although Scarface, the 32 version, emphasizes the action a lot more in relation to the drama. The other notable thing I think is Stone, I think in adapting this, uncovered kind of his key to success in the 80s and 90s. So in 32, to get the movie past the censors, Hughes had to retitle the film Scarface, A Shame of a Nation. And he had to put a little title card at the beginning that talked about how this was a story of a terrible man who would definitely go to hell, blah, blah, blah. But the movie obviously undermines that the entire time by promoting Scarface as the coolest guy on the planet and the toughest dude on the planet. And Stone's movies, starting with Scarface, do the same thing where they portray someone terrible like a drug dealer or a stockbroker. And the whole movie is telling you like, no, don't ever do this. But the movie makes it look so fucking cool. He makes Natural Born Killers look so fucking cool that, you know, people it's the source of a lot of studies that people actually enjoy these films for the negative aspects and do not take anything away from the moral messages, the themes of the film.
Yeah, see that is like classic Stone, because I've seen interviews with him where he never understood why Wall Street traders, especially the young yuppie Wall Street traders of the 80s, completely love Gordon Gekko.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you have no idea that you wrote this guy so iconic.
Yeah.
As such an attractive figure that we all think Gordon Gekko was fucking bitching because he figured out early on the game was rigged.
Yes.
And so then he got in and learned how to rig it for himself and got in with these guys. And we all think Bud Fox is a big fucking pussy for not following along.
Yeah.
So, and that is a very classic Oliver Stone.
I don't like being lumped into a we there, because Gordon Gekko is clearly the villain of that movie. This is like Wolf of Wall Street, where it's literally in the title. He is a bad guy, and some people somehow find a way to make Leonardo DiCaprio's character in that movie the good guy.
Well,
cool hero.
see, but this
I
is
guess-
why I wonder if Stone was doing it on purpose, because every single one of his films after this, give or take
Mhm.
on Any Given Sunday, has a really detestable main character who's super fucking cool. And
Okay.
you know,
Well, I get before we get too far away from the 32 movie,
Sure,
two points to that. One, you're right, because the studio had to cut that Frank Capra style moment where the angels and God give Scarface the thumbs up. And they're like, that's our dude. So they had to cut that so he'd go to hell. But the second point, a little bit more in reality, is it wasn't based just on Capone. It was based off of the novel by Armitage Trail, who died prematurely, I think at the age of like 28 or so,
wow.
right before the film came out. And so he had written a book that was widely popular that this was all based off of, which is like a kind of a Roman and clef of the gangster.
Mhm.
But the crazy thing is that book and that movie, if I understand, are about an Italian immigrant.
Yes.
And
it's
so
very
when
much.
Stone flipped it, he made it Cuban
Yes.
due to what was going on in Miami at the time.
And they, as an homage, they cast nothing but Italians as Cubans.
No, there is one Cuban. There is one Cuban.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about the 1932 film, though, is that when you read Oliver Stone's screenplay, it's actually not a remake of that film. It's actually a remake of Treasure of Sierra Madre.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah. He has a lot of, in fact, he even has a scene where they're watching Treasure of Sierra Madre while they're in the encampment under the freeways.
Wow. So Stone's original script is fairly different.
What's interesting is that most of it is pretty much on point with what the final film is, but they cut out a bunch of scenes where he draws these Treasure of Sierra Madre comparisons. He draws comparisons between Humphrey Bogart and Tony Montana, where he starts attaining so much wealth he doesn't trust anybody anymore.
Yeah.
And he starts going insane. And in fact, there's a matching shot to the end of Treasure of Sierra Madre that's in the script, but they didn't shoot it that way.
Wow.
So this draft that I read is the November-December 1982 draft with some revisions in 83, which are probably some rewrites that they were doing while they were shooting. First off, it's a million pages long. It's 168 pages long.
Yeah.
It's incredibly dense. But it's much like the Richard Price script for Sea of Love that Ken and I talked about. It's also just incredibly detailed in its writing to capture the essence of the scenes. So, this is a great. So when he's in the processing hall at the beginning of the script, the description is the scar-faced one in the young, angry prime of his life. We dwell first on the scar which he likes to scratch now and then. We move to the eyes, pure in their fury. Finally, we encompass the face of a man about to explode. Muscle, tissue, brain, a man willing to live or die, and, on the increment of a moment, inflict or receive either one.
Wow.
I mean, so, this is old school screenwriting when, screenwriters were being filmmakers, even if they weren't going to be getting behind the camera on that particular film.
Well, and he obviously had aspirations too.
Now,
I think he was already in development on Salvador at this point.
So with the final scene, the discrepancy, do you think that might have been because Pacino was injured on set?
No, I think I'd be interested in the conversations between Stone and De Palma on this, and Bregman, the producer Martin Bregman, because in the scene when they're watching the Treasure of Sierra Madre at the encampment under the freeway, it's a beat up 16mm print in the detention center, and it's the scene where Bogart has just gone over the edge and he's sitting there all alone talking to himself, and the dialogue in that scene is Bogart talking about conscience. He says, "Conscience, what a thing. You believe you've got a conscience, it'll pester you to death. But if you believe you don't have one, what can it do to you? It makes me sick so much talking about fussing about nonsense. It's time to go to sleep." So what's interesting is that despite how awful Tony Montana is, it's his conscience that actually does him in the end, because he won't let the assassin kill the kids in the car. And it does do him in. And there are scenes where, after they watch Treasure Sierra Madre, Manny's talking about all that gold that was just blowing in the wind. I guess you get crazy and you never trust anybody anymore. And Tony Montana tells him, that's never going to happen to me, Chico. That's one thing I'm never. That's what.
Looks at the camera.
Yeah,
it's never going to happen.
Right. That's one thing I'm never going to be crazy like that. So all that was cut. And in the last scene of Treasure Sierra Madre, after Humphrey Bogart is killed, these Mexican rogues are like taking his boots and everything. They don't see that the gold dust blowing in the wind is gold dust. They just think it's sand. In the end of the script that Stone wrote, Tony Montana is lying in the pool and all of the money is blowing in the wind from the doors that have been blown in. And the hitters are all trying to gather up the money. So he's got a matching shot to really drive it all home.
I thought it was going to be a freak snowstorm in Miami, and all the cocaine gets mixed up with snow.
So I think if it was, the reason it was probably cut is because it's all very on the nose. Yeah. I think you could have still had them watch Treasure Sierra Madre, but just get rid of that dialogue where they're talking about it, and then leave it up to the audience to make that connection.
Well,
I have a correction to make. Somebody fucked up earlier in their facts. I think their name's Thomas. It wasn't Stone who came up with the Cuban lifeboat, the Cuban boat event. It was actually Lumet, because Sidney Lumet was originally attached.
Yeah.
And all this came from Pacino. Pacino saw the original film and wanted to make it, and so he called up Bregman, and that's where they went from there.
And then how did De Palma get in? I know De Palma had teetered between writing, directing his own movies, and then doing some studio work like The Fury, Carrie. Interesting choice this part of his career, though, De Palma.
Yeah, I don't know what Sidney Lumet was doing aside from being amazing at this time.
This would have been around the time he did The Verdict, wouldn't it?
And Prince of the City.
Yeah. He probably made the right choice.
Yeah, I know we're not to reactions yet, but I wonder if maybe the movie would have grabbed me a little bit more if it had the obvious Sierra Madre.
Do you think it would have? Is that so? Your reaction obviously is you don't like it.
Yeah, if we're gonna get
spoilers. No, we haven't talked about how many times they say fuck, which is a lot. Up to 1.32 times per minute.
Okay.
So take the runtime and multiply the 5-hour runtime and multiply it by 1.32. That's how many times they say fuck in it.
It is a long movie.
In fact, the film calls it out in that scene with Michelle Pfeiffer. Fuck. Can't you stop saying fuck all the time? It's boring, Tony.
Yeah.
Is that when he's in the bathtub?
Yeah, he's in the bathtub.
Oh, I don't want to be. If I
so shriveled up by the end of that day, shoot.
I don't care. If I were a rich man, you could insert the song here.
Cocaine actually makes your skin impervious to fluids
and bullets.
And so, yeah, as we saw. Al Pacino. Really got that scene.
Going back to. You can go to insert the season number here, Ken. Spielberg was on set and shot some of second unit stuff for a day.
Yeah, he and De Palma were friends. And I think of that generation, Scorsese, De Palma, and Spielberg, they were all in the same little community. Skill-wise, I mean, I think De Palma goes toe-to-toe with Scorsese and Spielberg as far as being a master of setting up shots, of using the camera, of having a playful style. He does a lot of homages, as does Scorsese and Spielberg. So I find him one of the most fascinating directors because his career didn't quite pan out the way Spielberg and Scorsese's did.
He certainly saw all of the Hitchcock movies many, 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 many times. We can say that for this guy.
It's not our first time talking about him because we talked about him during the Cage season, right?
Yeah, Snake Eyes.
But But I'm still blown away by that opening scene in the shower, or not the opening scene, but the early half, because this film I think has two halves, or at least two parts, right? If it's not immediately cut severable at the exact halfway point, it's close. But the shower scene, and I think Roth calls it out as one of his favorite scenes as well. Eli Roth. Not that I like Eli Roth as a director. I'm just catering to somebody who likes horror movies right now on the pod. But when they go from the sound of the chainsaw starting up to the outside, and his buddies macking on some chick on the street, and is completely oblivious, and then it goes back into it. It's that crane shot and that transition is, I don't know, cinema gold for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the few signature De Palma shots in the movie. Because if you like Ken did, he watched Blowout and Dressed to Kill back to back. I mean, that is just peak De Palma right there. Really just having a lot of fun with split diopters, a lot of camera movement. Then you look at Scarface, there's not a lot of that there. So I mean, I think, you know, he probably catered the shooting style to the demands of the script, but that's one of the few, you know, De Palma shots.
Well, yeah, there is
film.
that split diopter in the car scene whenever they're whenever Pacino and Pfeiffer are in the car together. Speaking of Pfeiffer, this is just the year after Grease too, or like that was her. She had done a few films before, but this is her big breakout, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've never seen Frankie and Johnny.
Oh, I was forced to.
Oh, you were? Where Pfeiffer and Pacino get back together in 1991 to do a film?
Yeah. That we ran that at the movie 6, and someone had to watch it to make sure the print was okay. I think that was.
He was sitting there like in Clockwork Orange with his eyes propped open. Eric had to watch it.
So you mentioned Blowout, and I just mentioned Grease, kind of adjacent. Has anyone seen the 1983 film Two of a Kind?
Oh yeah.
That is not the reaction.
A fucking incredible film. Wow. More people need. Do you know the plot? Have you seen it, Thomas?
Wikipedia. No, I haven't. It's actually up my alley. And it's the reunion of Travolta and Newton-John from Grease.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh
and
my
this
God.
This is the Wikipedia thing that blew my mind. You just have to wait for it. Two of a Kind is a 1983 American romantic fantasy comedy drama. I'm sorry, crime comedy drama film, directed by John Hertzfeld and starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. The film reunited Travolta and Newton-John, who had appeared together in 1978's Grease. The original musical score was composed by Patrick Williams. Here it comes. Travolta plays a cash-strapped inventor, while Newton-John plays the bank teller whom he attempts to rob. They must come to show compassion for one another in order to lay God's judgment upon the earth.
Yes, that's not even the half of it, man. So God, there are...
Don't spoil it. I think I'm going to watch it tonight.
Okay. That's great podcasting not to spoil it.
Well, I could take my headphones off and you can tell.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it, Ryan.
So Travolta and Newton-John have this chance meeting during this robbery, and God summons 4 angels, and maybe one of them's a devil. Maybe there's 2 angels and 2 devils. Anyways, God is sick of humanity. He's pissed off. He's going to end the world at midnight. The angels convince God that if they can make this criminal, Travolta, and this goody two-shoes lady, Newton-John, fall in love before the stroke of midnight, then humanity deserves to be saved. It's incredible. You got, oh God, you devil going on.
A little bit of Trading Places.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, and it says it was written by Cocaine. Yeah, that's quite a movie.
Yeah. It and Frankie and Johnny were both HBO staples in the early 90s.
Let's get back to Scarface.
Okay, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
You have to watch Two of a
Scarface.
Kind. You have to
Okay.
watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of other actors, though, we get Mark Margolis,
Yes.
who
Yes.
is in every. We talked about him in Aronofsky. He's in every Aronofsky film up until The Well. And how about F. Murray Abraham?
Uh-huh.
The following year, he's going to be Saliar, right?
Uh-huh.
So
And then we have Robert Loggia.
Oh, Robert
Also,
Loggia.
we have a lot of people in brownface in this movie, unfortunately. And then we have Harris Yulin as Detective Berenstein Bear. R.I.P. Didn't he just pass away?
Rest in peace, Harris. One of my favorite character actors.
Great character actor.
Whenever he showed up, the camera just loves him.
Yeah, he is the recipient of one of the Squibs we'll be talking about at some point. Loggia, not so much. That might be on my one of our lists. Then you have Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me which one is going to have the bigger career between her and Pfeiffer from this movie, I'd like, man, she's fucking great. She was fucking great in Color of Money.
Yeah.
And the same thing. It's like, why wasn't she like one of the biggest actresses of her time? She's amazing. She's amazing in this too. One person missing from De Palma's stable is Dennis Franz, who I felt Dennis Franz stole the scenes he was in both Blowout and in Dress to Kill. And I kind of wish he had a part here.
he was probably upset that theft of those scenes.
Yeah. Dennis Franz
return.
is great. I had a Dennis Franz impersonation. I don't think I could do it now, though. I can cut it out. Okay, I'll try it. What are you doing, Montana? Hey, what kind of Cuban name is that anyway, Montana? Montana, like John friggin' Wayne playing someone named Las Tunas. All right, that was my. That was pretty good.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Anyway, Franz is great. This cast is great. Stephen Bauer, another guy kind of in brownface as Manny. Great cast.
Richard Belzer.
Oh, Richard Belzer. I think he was actually Detective Munch undercover. And I'm gonna put this in the Munch cinematic universe.
The
as one of the
Munchverse?
earliest ones. Yes.
So no, I mean, yeah, it was a hell of a cast, and the thing is that every one of them, shows up. They're great. Most of them are great character actors, like Robert Loggia, although he just pretty much played Robert Loggia in everything he was in. And the thing about like the guy, Stephen Bauer, who plays Manny, I feel like he should have had a bigger career, and he never really did. He didn't really. It's like more late, like mid '90s. He started finally getting some more roles and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in this major film being directed by Brian De Palma, and you think that would like launch you in some way, shape, or form when you're the co-lead, but it just never really happened for him.
It seems like he has riz and a hot body, so I don't know why.
Yeah.
And he's not a bad actor, because there is a scene early in Freedom Village or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And Pacino is playing basketball, and he keeps a straight face.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just too tall?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that he's actually great in this movie, and he recognizes what the camera sees, and he has a lot of subtle movements that he does that the camera absolutely picks up. And I don't know what it was. In fact, I want to say there was a documentary on HBO that was covering actors trying to make it, and I was shocked to see him on this documentary. I was like, wait, you were in Scarface. Mm-hmm. Why are you struggling to make it? So I don't know if it's, at that time period, if there just weren't a lot of great roles for, Latinos, at that point, if that was one of the issues or what have you. So it could have been, but he's great in this movie. He's really, really good.
And we haven't really talked about the plot of Scarface, because everybody knows it's the rise and fall of a criminal. That's about it, right?
I do think the Cuban element, at least in the first act of the movie, is pretty interesting.
It is. It's weird that back in 83, that there was a lot of fear of immigrants and countries sending over their worst. And this is borderline propaganda for that.
Well, yeah, and it's a confluence of circumstances with Reagan and the anti-communist stuff that was really hot at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think my understanding, and it just mentioned it briefly in one of the commentary, or not commentary tracks, but the making of tracks on the Blu-ray, that they started getting death threats because people in the community started to hear what the film was about, and they didn't really like the idea of representation of themselves as
Mm-hmm.
killers, even though at the time there were a significant amount of killings going on
Yeah.
in this drug war that was happening in that part of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
There was. I mean, the nightly news was filled with news stories about, quote unquote, the Cuban crime wave that they had been experiencing. And, so it's some of it, was based in fact. But of course, you're going to take a film and you're going to, dial it up. That's what films do, and make it seem worse than it was. So, I mean, I grew up during this time period, and the nightly news was just filled with this stuff. You had all this stuff with all the images of the boats coming over, and the encampments under the freeways and everything. And it was just seen, and it was definitely dialed up as yet another failure of the Carter era.
The movie is really not very much of an exaggeration whatsoever. I can understand people being pissed off about portraying it, but they were pretty. There was a lot of cocaine and a lot of money. Something like 20% of Miami's economy at this point was based off of cocaine. And almost all of the skyscrapers that now dot the coast and downtown were built with laundered cocaine money in the late 70s and early 80s. So it's all pretty true to form, actually.
Yeah, but then you have like the whole Screenwriters Guild 100% funded by cocaine or on cocaine. So I mean, it's bi-coastal at least.
Yeah, sure.
It's funny that most of this film was actually shot in Los Angeles. It's such a definitive Miami movie.
Oh, is
a
that
lot of
right?
the interiors with like the giant photos on them and doors. Yeah, well, obviously the exterior stuff filmed in Miami, but most of it all the interiors shot in
including
Los
that
Angeles.
hotel shower scene. That's definitely on location. But yeah, they just paint for the large bright colors.
Yeah. And it's one of the early movies that made Miami kind of pop as a location, really.
It's before Bad Boys.
And before Miami Vice.
Yeah, very influential on Miami Vice, but also all sorts of 80s culture.
So I was a little shocked, and maybe it's just inflation, but to have somebody get hit for $500, that was the going. It was like $500 was the offer, but they were like $1,000's the going rate.
Yeah.
Because I think in the Nicolas Cage season of the pod, maybe it was season 4, we established it's $10,000 in all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So human life, I guess, wasn't worth very much in that location at that time.
Like,
sad.
As the introduction to A Fistful of Dollars would tell you, when life is worth nothing, then you can buy somebody's death pretty easy.
That was was that Lee Van Cleef or Clint Eastwood, Ryan?
His impression?
Yes.
That was me trying to remember a title card.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of, I wasn't expecting to have to fucking read to watch a movie. Come on. It's like a silent film almost. And like a history lesson on top of it. I was bored.
Yeah.
Why did Erik leave and come back?
He was waiting for microphone access all of a sudden.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything.
Is this going to be another Patrick? I don't know if my heart could take that.
We can keep what he has in and just say that out of disgust with our
he should be able to access. And that was my experience with cocaine in the preschool bathroom.
I'm not going back in the cage.
We need to get to reactions. Thomas, it's time. This is your first full viewing of Scarface.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think I've, in my old age of being in my mid-20s, or I guess I will be in my mid-20s soon, I've mellowed out a little bit, and so things like Heat in this,
Mhm.
I'm able to sit through, or maybe just films have gotten longer, and so I'm able to tolerate a longer film now. I enjoyed it.
Good. Okay. Ryan, I know you're not a big fan of Scarface. What was your
No,
thought after this viewing?
my first thought, as a middle-aged man representing the Xer/Boomer contingent, was, "Oh my god, I never have to watch this movie again."
Excellent.
Yeah,
What are your
Carrie.
objections to it?
The more control De Palma has over a picture, I just think the less I like it. Carrie's my favorite, and the Fury is good, and then it just starts falling off for me. The beginning and end are fantastic. In between is 2.5 hours of people who I don't like, who are not very smart, talking endlessly about shit that is stupid.
I like that though. I like that part of it.
That is a good take on the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, some people like it,
Yeah.
and it's obviously super influential in culture, and I respect that place in it. I can see what people like about it. It's not for me, you know.
I don't respect it. Why are you venerating such a soulless, morality-free animal?
Because so much of my
so
favorite art is based on it, you know.
yeah. So this is the first time I watched it, and I kind of enjoyed it. I think I think part of my objection to it before was the cultural component, knowing what it had become, and people were like, "Oh, Tony Montana's cool," and I really bristled up against that because I don't think he is. I think he's horrible. And this time, maybe it was watching the two De Palmas beforehand. It really felt like just a remake of an old movie told in an old movie style, but with new movie levels of sex and violence. And by the end, when they dedicated to the original, I actually found it kind of, I don't know, charming is quite the right word because it's superimposed over scores of dead bodies.
If this were 90 minutes like the original, 5 stars.
There are a lot of scenes in this movie where people are just talking about one thing. There's nothing else going on. The only scene that kind of rises to the multiple pieces at once is the nightclub scene.
Yeah.
Where there's like 3 or 4. It's like one of I think it's the best De Palma sequence, not because it's one smooth camera move, but the way he builds tension of it. And there are 3 or 4 different plot things going on at the same time. And it's the only part of the movie that I got that little cinema buzz from, like, De Palma, because it just seems like, oh, this is great. It's like there are assassins. He's got his sister. He's got the Loggia thing and the Elvira. Is this the only time that name has been pronounced that way in movies? And then I kind of wish that there were more like that, because there's a really long scene of Pacino pruning in the bathtub, and they're literally just talking about one thing. It's basically just talking about the word fuck.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think script-wise, those scenes where people are just talking about one thing and there's nothing else going on, they're fine. And it's kind of fun, and I enjoyed it more this time. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Ryan, but I actually enjoyed it this time. So,
Erik?
So, like I said, when this, hit home video, which is where I saw it, it had an immediate impact on me, at that time period. It really felt like a video nasty to a certain extent, where it was this thing that I wasn't supposed to be watching.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt edgy and dangerous, at the time. And it was just giving me a glimpse into this world that I had never, seen before. I don't think it ages well, because it is so focused on the criminal element and the things that go on, like laundering money. You always have to be looking over your shoulder. And I think you look at it as a comparison against something like The Godfather, which is a classic for different reasons. And the reason being is that all of those characters in The Godfather, it's really not necessarily about organized crime. It's really about the people involved in it and the family. and just this culture of, you know, these immigrants who came over, you know, and sort of found their own way. You don't really get that from the Scarface. And while it's considered a classic, as for, you know, just because of how it landed and how it was received, it's never going to be on that same level to be an all-time classic like The Godfather. So it doesn't necessarily age well, and it's I enjoy watching it still, but really as sort of this piece of 80s nostalgia, as opposed to being something that you can watch as a piece of cinema and learn from, the way you can with The Godfather every single time you watch it.
Right.
And I feel like this is sort of the beginning, not necessarily the beginning of the end of De Palma, but I do feel like it's the beginning of where the films that he started making seem to have, they're just films. They stop being cinema at a certain point. I think The Untouchables is probably the last one that he made that I think can be entertaining cinema, because there's a return to some old school De Palma there.
Mission Impossible, the first one.
And Mission Impossible, yeah. And then after that, it's just something happens. So I don't feel like Scarface is really a Brian De Palma film. It feels more like this mismatch of the stuff that Oliver Stone was doing at that time, because when you look at, he was doing Scarface and Salvador, and he had come off Midnight Express and all that. I think Stone really thought that he was exploring deep, meaty type subjects, and that people really didn't have like a grip on or a view or a window into. And I feel like Scarface just sort of got away from everybody to a certain extent in retrospect.
Fascinating.
I was thinking of the end of the 80s, where Martin Scorsese, De Palma's buddy, made Goodfellas, which kind of revolutionized the way we would see crime movies made. The amount of detail he puts in it. And by comparison, I think that's part of what I liked about it this time, is it seems quaint. The lack of details about how the actual business works seems really old fashioned to me, just because a few years later, Scorsese's like, in less time, telling 4 times as much information and having a better rise and fall storyline with his main character.
Well, and I think I was thinking about Scorsese during the shot that Thomas called out earlier, the amazing bathroom scene and the camera drifting in and out. I think Casino is in large part an homage to Scarface. And there's a scene, my favorite scene in Killers of the Flower Moon, which actually reenacts a hit that Capone ordered. Is when the guy gets killed in the barber shop that's behind the flower shop, and Scorsese takes the camera from where the killing is to go look at some flowers in the flower shop while this guy is getting shot in the barber shop. And when I saw that scene again in the bathroom, I was just like, holy shit, this is like obviously a very intentional.
Wait, so you mean the scene in the movie in the bathroom, or are you watching the movie in the bathroom?
In Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, you weren't watching that in the bathroom.
No, okay. Al Pacino was in the bathroom when I thought of it.
So I think, you know, I think Scarface basically kind of, and I hate looking at films through a contemporary lens. I like to look at them at their point in time in history, but it really feels like a cartoon.
Yeah,
to a certain extent, you know, and which you can enjoy a cartoon. So I still enjoy it, you know, whenever I do watch it. But I don't hold it up there, you know, with like I said, things like The Godfather or even Goodfellas. Because there's just something, it's so all over the map. You got the stuff with, you know, Al Pacino and his sister. Which in the script, he's just really hyper protective of her. There's not this like incest angle really until like the end, because in the script she still brings it up, and you know, it's like, you know, do you want me? Is this what you want? And he seems really, you know, shocked by that maybe this is what's been going on all the time. Like he wasn't aware of it. So yeah, it's a little all over the map, to where it's not really, it doesn't have a focus, I guess,
right,
at all. So it's hard to tell what its central story really is.
Well, yeah, it feels a little bit like kids writing a movie, in the sense of like, Pacino's like, exactly. You know what we should do? We should do more. And the guy's like, I don't know if we can do more. And Pacino's like, no, we can do more. And so they do more because Pacino wants to do more. And it's never really explained how how that works out.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know what we should do? What? Rocket launcher. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
The only way to kill this guy is with a remote control bomb.
In front of the UN.
Only way.
Yep.
So,
Which is a disappointing sequence for De Palma because there is so much in that could be De Palma.
So for me, like watching it all the way through, what was startling for me is, I always think of this as like a Scorsese arc where you have somebody come up and then you have somebody's downfall, right? And I think that's because of Raging Bull, Goodfellas, things like that. And this film like kind of like cleanly splits itself in half by even fading out to black after he sees the Goodyear blimp with "The World Is Yours," goes to black, comes in with a montage and a terrible 80s song.
Oh my God.
And then it's a whole other film. I think I like that first film a lot more, where it's gritty and it feels kind of like Bad Lieutenant, the first one. The second film, the second half of the film, I think is what a lot of people glommed onto for like hip hop culture and this idea of just have like over the top glitz, over the top everything, paranoia, the drugs hitting you.
And that mimicked what happened. This is famous for its influence on gangster rap.
Yes.
But The Godfather, when it came out, changed mafia culture completely. The way everybody dressed, a lot of the phrasing that's in the movie was adapted by the mafia after the movie came out, and so it's really like they see it
like
and then they gotta go get it. yes, very much like I was just thinking that Tony Montoya was a lot like Cher.
As if.
Well, so and I think where looking at the film, as with having a lot more filmmaking experience under my belt, where the film actually fails is that Tony Montana is so unlikable.
Yeah.
The film is better if you actually like him and he gets swept up in this.
Yeah.
And it's a way of survival, and then it just all spins out of control. So if you were to take the character of Manny and make that your main character, I think that makes a good movie. Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a better film because Manny's just there to like pursue a new life.
And he gets shot at the end.
Yeah.
And so he dies. Just kind of, it's the end of the film.
Yeah, and it just becomes this thing where like you have to keep up with it, and then it all spins out of control because it always spins out of control. So then it sets up more as a tragedy if you take if you give Manny's personality to Tony, then I think that makes a better film.
Yeah, very much so. Is there a movie like that even? Because that's a good angle.
I don't know. I mean, I think there probably are.
The Master.
That's got kind of a similar bent. Yeah.
So,
very, very meta, but same.
Yeah. So that's what I think. Where the film fails for a lot of reasons is that Tony Montana is so unlikable, the entire time, and his character never really changes other than eventually losing control and becoming insane like Humphrey Bogart and Treasure Sierra Madre.
It's weird that the gangster rap culture that this movie inspired, because there are times in this movie where Al Pacino, who is not Cuban, he looks like one of the Gallagher brothers from Oasis.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple scenes where his hair's...
What's Oasis?
Oasis. Oasis is a British rock band from the 90s. Wonderwall. But I started thinking, my mind started wandering of the different kind of movie if it was one of the Gallagher brothers playing Scarface, but a British version.
Wait, the people who break the watermelons?
Is
that not Gallagher?
No, different Gallagher. Although he would have been funny as Scarface as well.
I think there was so little representation for not only people of color but also gangsters that when they got one, they were like, "Fuck yeah."
No. I think this continues the rich history of spaghetti westerns of having Italians play Latinos.
There you go.
Sure.
Okay. I am not either of those, so I am not going to comment. I would like to get to Squib. So rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. This is season 15. What do we think about the Squibs related to the Squibs we've already seen and where it fits in Squibstery?
It was fascinating when thinking really hard about the violence, which I've never really done before while watching this. There are certainly a shit ton of squibs, but a lot of the violence is like someone's about to do it and then it cuts the after effect.
I wondered if that was part of what they had to cut for the X rating, because especially at the climax, you're no.
So what? No, this is interesting. They did a retrospective at Tribeca, and had everybody up there except for Stone, part of it. And what De Palma said was that they sent it in, got an X rating, made a cut. Sent it in, X rating, made a cut. Third time, same thing happened. He's like, I can't live with the film the way that it's cut. And the producer said, look, send in the original cut and we're going to fight it. And so they didn't take anything out from the original, and they got it. They fought it and they won, and so they got it released as it was going to be released. There is no like hidden X-rated cut.
Okay, so yeah, like Ryan was saying, where you would see Tony shooting, and then it would cut to the person already squibbed and falling. But as far as actual squibs, particularly at the ending, not a lot. Mark Margolis though. Head squib.
Nice.
And I have to say, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, we got some satin squibs, which I think it's a first.
That's my favorite, because I love to see an ancestral relationship, nudity, and satin squib. Like, it is just beyond. It is probably a fetish and maybe niche, but yeah, that is that is amazing.
All those things in one place.
Yeah,
it's like Tarantino at a shoe shop, watching people try on shoes. We are robbed a couple squibs though. We Stephen Bauer as Manny, brutally murdered by Tony Montana. We don't see anything. We see the blood afterwards. And then Robert Loggia, fairly weak squib, which may be my vote for the worst.
Yeah, my vote's the best is the sister getting shot. The worst is definitely shooting your friend in slow motion silence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
And no squib.
I 100% satin squib is one of the best we have seen, and it really surprised me, because we usually don't watch these things for that kind of stuff. But when it came up, I was pausing. I was like, oh man.
I ran it. Yeah, I ran it both that and the headshot in the street back and forth, frame by frame, to see how they did it.
Impressive, very impressive. And the Margolis squib is very gory, especially for 1982. I don't think it's hard to imagine a movie doing that today.
I really like Harris Yulin's squib, the one in the stomach.
Yes,
because whenever I see that scene, I cringe, because it looks genuine, and you can just feel like this burn in your own stomach. Like, oh fuck, that looks like it hurts.
When he shoots the possible pretend cop.
Bernstein
in the office scene. Okay.
Yeah, because he never lifts the gun. He just fires it sideways off the table, and it just goes right into his gut. And Yulin sells that scene so well. Yeah, it's like, that looks like it really fucking hurts.
I would say his, and if we're going to just do awards, I'll put the fanfare in. Doo-doo-doo. I'm going with satin squib as the best squib effect in this movie. Ryan, do you have a vote?
Yes, I love when the weird ass vaudevillian dancer in the fat suit gets shot during the club match.
Oh, that is pretty good.
The clown.
Yeah. He's and the way he falls, it's just a.
I am so confused by that scene.
Yes,
I'm confused by a few things. One, it seems like Al Pacino's shorter when his hair doesn't stick straight off his head. Second, there must have been like an embargo or a shortage in the United States of buttons because, especially for men's shirts, because they don't seem to like ever go above like the chest, like the sternum. All these open colored shirts. And then the third is, what kind of nightclub has a comedian and is followed by a dancing clown and like paper mache head? I just didn't understand like how much coke you would have to do to make that seem interesting.
I found it fascinating, and that's why that whole nightclub scene is one of my favorites, because it's so unhinged and so much is going on that I barely have time to stop and think about how fucking weird the clown is.
Yeah, it's in the same movie as whenever Al Pacino sees his sister, and that crazy ass synth music starts, and we zoom in on his murderous, lustful face. Those are a different movie than the rest of the movie.
Not cool sound design, but the opening of this film, I was like, wait, I'm reading a teleprompter or something. And they have like this crazy, it's like disco plus like a disco bass line over like an orchestra music. Like the sound.
That was a very popular style at that moment.
I felt like my ears were being polluted. Like I needed to wash
There's a famous version of Beethoven's Ninth with a disco backbeat.
Yeah, I actually don't like that club scene with the clown. I never have. Because it is so stupid. It's so weird. And it makes no sense whatsoever. And I actually don't think the shootout in the nightclub's very exciting either. Or well done. I don't know. It's a little too static for me. I would have expected a little bit more movement for the camera from De Palma for something like that.
The thing that's confusing to me is these two dudes have Uzis under napkins, as you do, on top of the table. Yes. Yeah. It goes, if I remember right, you go from the outside in, starting with like your appetizer fork to your salad fork to your soup spoon to Uzi eventually. But they're like waiting for the light to hit Scarface or something. Yes. I just didn't understand like why you have Uzis, and this is like far more than like Django Unchained when we try to talk about like, I need to shoot him from a distance. It made no sense to me, that hit, like waiting for a spotlight to go on to Pacino's character Scarface to shoot him.
No, it doesn't. It's not even a well executed hit at all, because normally you would just walk by the table, blam blam blam, and keep walking, right?
Or use remote control plastic explosives.
Well, I'm a big fan of that sequence. You guys can fuck off.
Did De Palma think he was making The Godfather? Did De Palma and Stone, is that why it's 3 hours long? Does anybody know?
I don't think that they did, because they use a different source material, because I think Godfather came from a book by Mario Puzo, and this came from
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much story in there, and I'm trying to think, what you would cut. I feel like there's so much montage. There's like multiple montages in there, with music, that you could probably cut one of those.
Well, yeah,
or make more of
the original.
You don't need to go to Bolivia all the time. Like
the original is 93 minutes, and it's a very complete story. There's certainly a lot of detail about with the trips to South America and stuff in this that you don't get in the very long love plot, but otherwise, it feels like a padded version.
Well, there's so much story here that they did a prequel as a novel in 2006.
Wow. Did you read it for us?
I did not read the original nor the prequel. The prequel was by somebody who it's not somebody I would normally pick up their books for. L.A. Banks, who also wrote Vampire Huntress, those graphic novels. It seems like an odd choice to have, right? And then they also made a sequel in a way, because PlayStation 2 has the Scarface video game, which postulates, what if he didn't die?
It was a flesh wound. Yeah. So we didn't even talk about the squibs on the red wall in the finale, which are fantastic. Yeah, squibs in like a brightly colored wall. I mean, they just totally pop off the screen. Good stuff.
Yeah, and then this film kind of leads us into the Miami Vice era, right? Because Miami Vice hits
very
TV,
much so.
right? That hits TV like right after this. You know,
I feel like this movie invented a large part of the 80s. Just the look and feel of it is so, and the comic booky nature that you called out, is very much feels like paving the way for the absurd surreality that would take over.
It's the B movies given A budgets, actors and directors that Hollywood really went into deep in the 80s. Do we have a worst squib? What's the worst squib in the movie?
I think it's the lack of squib. For the brother.
Bauer or okay, yeah.
Because it's slow-mo, it's silent, it just doesn't work for me. Like, if I know they're probably trying to have a different tone than other times he pops people, but that doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the lack of squib for Robert Loggia is probably the worst.
Yeah.
It's like he shoots him in his flower on his jacket.
Because that scene should have, I don't know, that was a moment for I think Loggia's character to kind of deliver like a dying message to Tony, like, you know, it'll all slip through your fingers or something like that. That scene's just, it's so abrupt. It ends so quickly that it's a really missed opportunity, both narratively and squib wise.
I just realized that Christoph Waltz shoots Leonardo DiCaprio in the flower of his jacket in Django.
Oh, and there's also a big shootout from a second floor down to a foyer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we could do the bingo, but I think just because we're limited on time today, we won't. Though, here's another big problem I have with the film. Why and you know he's going to shoot him for like just the way that it's told in visual language, but why does dude wear sunglasses at night as a hitman?
El Terminator.
Because he's badass.
You wouldn't know anything about that, Zoomer.
Yeah, that's why. Which, speaking of El Terminator, that's what we're going to be doing in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
After Elephant next week.
I'm sorry to miss Elephant next week, but go with God, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be back for Terminator?
Yes, I will.
I guess we're wrapping up. Eric, I hope we could recapture that first 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but
hey, will you give us just a clean reading though as we're finishing out? Will you say what you said back in the cafeteria? Just to close us out. Yeah,
at school. At school. Yeah. You know, those were good times. Let's see. What is it? Is this what it's all about? Oh shit! Now I forgot the rest of it.
Will you just say anything about your balls? Just talk about your balls for 30 seconds and we'll sign off.
Oh, wow. Hey, all I got in this world is my balls and my word. And that'll break it for nobody. You got that? That piece of shit up there. I never like him. I never trust him. For all I know, he had us set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed. There you go.
That was great.
Wow.
Oh, a cockroach. How did nobody break up laughing whenever Pacino say cockroach?
Because cocaine.
Cockroach.
Just lots of cocaine. Fear for their lives and cocaine.
Yeah. Ryan, thank you for the theme song.
Yeah.
Which, we mentioned earlier. It's actually Scarface is referenced in the theme song.
It is.
And I've heard the theme song so many times in editing. I was like, that's, hey. I was like pointing like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
All right, Eric, thank you for mostly being with us.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was fun. Like I said, I still like Scarface quite a bit, but I kind of like it like fast food now.
Yeah.
You know, so
and I'm glad that I think I'm finally on your level of seeing it, and I kind of felt the same way this time.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but
because we're old and we're gonna die soon, Ken. God.
Yeah, that's true. I have plenty of other movies to watch, like Elephant next week.
Yeah.
Ryan's not going to be here. Eric's not going to be here. It'll just be me and the two Zoomers.
Again, go with God.
All right. All right. See you guys.
So,
Bye.
so say goodnight to the bad guy.
On a follow Walker down South American way. It got squibby, sticky, messy when they got there that day. Peyton lost his love and so he made a face. Django met a dentist, but big holes in little brains. Montoya's chest exploded, somehow wasn't the cocaine. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died. Yeah, they made a big mess, and then they died.
I have a correction to make. Somebody fucked up earlier in their facts. I think their name's Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, and it says it was written by Cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what we should do? What? Rocket launcher. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
And where it fits in a squibstery.
I love to see an ancestral relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Say goodnight to the bad guy.